Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Prelims IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala Delhi current affairs. Under that we will study near about 11 topic that we have made here the index of this topic. And yes, they are belonging from the GS paper 1 to GS paper 4. So we will start with one of the species that has been named after the President Murmu. So this is under the environment section and very specific to the prelims examination. Then we will study that OBC panel has submitted its report to the Karnataka government, and this is important because this has been the third state after the Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. So this is for the prelims as well as for the mains perspective. Then we will study this demand for this Manipur government that please suspend or repeal the agreement that is with the Kuki Jo group, and this is creating the law and order situation into the Manipur. Okay, so we will study this under the internal security GS paper 3. After that we will study there has been the increase in number of the attack on the BSF, Border Security Force of India, on the border of the Bangladesh, and particularly into the stone area that make its boundary with the Tripura state. Okay, so this is important under the perspective of the GS paper 3 internal security as well as GS paper 2, that is international relation, and it is relation between the India and Bangladesh. So we can use the further point from the both this internal security point of view as well as the India-Bangladesh relation. Then there is very good news that the India's leopard population has increased, and it is 8% increase, and now it has reached to the near about 14,000, 13,874. That means you should remember at the 14,000. So this is important for the GS paper 3 environmental perspective, and we can study is as per the prelims as well as the mains perspective. After that we will study that there has been the recent study that shows that number of the obesity rate has increased across the world. So this will be associated with the GS paper 2 health sector. Then we will study that despite the policy backing and the funding, the care for the disease, rare disease. So we will study the basics about the rare disease that will be under GS paper 3, the basic science as well as you can use it for the GS paper 2 health sector under the governance. So it can be used into the both area. Then we will study this change into the new laws, particularly the change that we have brought in the Indian Evidence Act as well as Indian Penal Code and code as well as the Criminal Procedure Code. Now the name has been changed, so we will study that what are the major change that is there. So okay, after that we will study that whatever is going in the Rajya Sabha into the particularly Bihar and in the Himachal Pradesh. So a broader context of that has been covered. The first, it has been covered under the editorial as well as the text and context. So we will study this into a very detailed manner under GS paper 2 polity. Okay. Besides that, we will also study the understanding the word of informal waste pickers. So this is under GS paper 2, the vulnerable section, as well as GS paper 3 as well. Okay, so let's start with the front page. So the front page, this is talking that the 6 Congress rebel MLAs that has disqualified by the Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly governor. So we will study that whenever there is the disqualification of the member, it is upon the Election Commission of India that it held the election within the 6 months, and this occurred under the section 151A of the Representation of People Act. Okay, so it is the obligation of the Election Commission of India. So let's see what happening on this, and there is the detailed discussion on this into the our latter page that is on the editorial as well as under the text and context. So we will study that what are the power, how what are the anti-defection law, whether it is implicable on this and why they have been disqualified. So all this will be studied. Next important news is with respect to the revised estimate for the GDP growth. Now the government has revised it to the 7.6%. Previously it was 7.3%. So here there has been the change into the GVA as well. It is to the 6.9%. So what is the difference between the GDP and GVA? You should understand that the GVA that include this this GDP include the tax as well as subsidy, but GVA doesn't include the tax and subsidy. Okay, so we reduce the tax and subsidy, after that we get the GVA. So please be careful, and this GVA gives the sectoral picture of the each sector of the economy. Maybe it could be the manufacture sector, agriculture sector, maybe in the even into the manufacture sector it will be it could be the steel sector, okay, textile sector. So segregate the output, whatever the value added is given under the this GVA. Okay, so please remember that. Next important news, please see this picture, and this shows that this helicopter that is known as the MH-60R She-Hawk multi-role helicopter. Okay, so this is capable of firing the torpedoes. What are the torpedoes? Torpedoes, they attack the submarine inside the sea water, under the water. So, and this is able to attack, load the missile and attack by the missile as well. Advanced precision kill weapon system. Okay, so let's see this the picture of this. This is the torpedo that has been dropped, and this is to attack the submarine. Okay, this is the launch, missile launch under this helicopter. So this is, we have acquired it from the US. Okay, so you should know that. This create the SAF. This SAF is just to this small metallic strip dispose the confuse enemy radar and missile guidance, that if they will think that the helicopter something the target is here, and that's why the target of the missile can be deviated by this chaff. Okay, then you should also know this is able to create the infrared flare, and many a times the missile detect the heat, and after that the attack is based on the heat detection. Okay, for example, if there is in the sky the temperature is very low, but it will be the high for this engine. So if the same type of the heat is created around us, so whatever the missile that is coming for the targeting that particular level of the heat, they can be deviated and can be confused. By that we can protect this helicopter. So this is the concept behind this. Okay. Next important news that you should know is this Rafah city that is continuously in the news. This is in the Hamas. This is into the Palestine, the Gaza Strip, and it is at the border of the Egypt, and it is the Sinai Peninsula. So please, let's see this is the Rafah, and this is the border of the Israel and with the Egypt, and here it is the Gaza Strip. So this is on the border area, and here there is there has been the refugee camp, and this refugee camp is facing the acute level of the poverty, need for the food and other thing. Okay. Next important news is with respect to this new species. This has been named at the Melnoclami Draupadi. This has been named after our president Draupadi Murmu. Okay, so that's why, and yes, this it has been, normally this type of the species they are found in the temperate region, but the few of its family that is found into the tropical region. Okay, so this has been found on the West Bengal and the Odisha coast. Okay, that you should remember. And this new species head-sealed sea slug. Okay, and this is found nowhere else into the found this species. Okay, so you should also know that it is a small invertebrate with the maximum length of the 7 millimeter, and this has a brownish black in the color, and it has a ruby red spot in the hind end and cell inside the body. So this is the just 7 millimeter. Okay, so you should know this. The next important news is with respect to this car sensors that the report has been submitted to the CM of the Karnataka, and you should know that this Karnataka has become the third state after the Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. So please remember Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, and this is the Karnataka that has become the third state. So first is the Bihar, second is Andhra Pradesh, and this third is Karnataka. Please remember this is important for the state PCS, and UP PCS is coming, so it becomes very important. This is the scene from the Theyyam. Already we have studied this Theyyam, that is the performing art, and this is associated with the, now it is associated with the Hinduism, but it has the ritualistic origin of the tribal society before the Hinduism reached to the Kerala, and it is celebrated onto the northern Kerala, the Malabar coast, and also in the some of the region of the Karnataka. So please remember this has the costume, and this Theyyam represent the deities. Okay. Other thing you should remember is this Rusikonda, this hill, and the resort made at this hill has now into the criticism for the environmental violation. Okay, so you should know this Rusikonda, this is in the Andhra Pradesh, and this is into the Stone Ghat, and let's see that it is at the coastal area. This is Risikonda hill, and it is very close to the Visakhapatnam. Okay, this is Visakhapatnam. It comes under the Visakhapatnam. So just you should remember this. You should remember this Arambai Tengol that is in the news. They are the insurgent group, and they are associated with the MITI. Recently, they are continuously in the news because they have abducted the police officer that was the additional SP. So this is a higher police officer, and that's why this is in the heated debate on the public domain. Next important news is you should know that Mizoram is opposing the fencing of this free regime movement at the India-Myanmar border, and now they have denied that they are not going to collect the biometric data of the refugee that is coming from the Myanmar side, and also those people that are internally displaced, like the Kuki-Jo that has been displaced from their neighbor state of the Manipur, because they think that this can create the issue of there will be the misuse of this data to exploit and repress this community. Again, the same news is from the Manipur, that this government of Manipur is opposing the deal, the suspension order between the Indian government, that is the Home Ministry of the India, central government, and the Manipur government, the Kuki-Jo community. This Kuki-Jo community, this is under the Kuki National Organization, and this is the umbrella organization of 24 insurgent group. So already there is the deal. This deal was took place into 2008, and this is continuously. But the government is talking that this is not effective. This is creating the law and order situation, and that's why please suspend this suspension of operation. Okay, so yes, but the central government has still not taken the decision. Okay, and this agreement was finalized after there was the huge clash of the Kuki Naga clash of 1990s, and then this pact was signed so that we can reduce this violence. And yes, after that there was a reduction on this violence. Other important news is with respect to this Maldives. Already we saw that there was the backlash in the Maldives after the presidential election, and it was the campaign that was the India Out campaign by the president. So now they were asking that please withdraw your troop from the India. Some of the Indian army was there for the look after, and yes, for the technical assistance of the equipments, like we have given Maldives this advanced light helicopter. So now we are replacing our army personnel with the technical person, technicians, okay, so that we can reduce, and this was the compromise that is win-win situation for the both the President Muizu as well as the India, okay. So you should know. Other important news, this is very important, that is going on the India-Bangladesh border, and this is with respect to the that is increasing on the BSF personnel, Border Security Force personnel, and we saw that there has been the criminal who are attacking. So what is the reason? The region is like there has been the illegal activity on the border, such as the smuggling of the arms, narcotic and gold. Beside that, smuggling of the cattle that is the other issue that this border area is facing, and infiltration of the migrants, immigrants. All this is there. So you should know that there is and there was a case where the army personnel killed a woman that was crossing, a girl crossing the border. After that, we have gone for the use of the non-lethal, and we go for the lethal use of the weapon only when there is the critical situation. So this use of non-lethal weapon and this restraint on the army, that is giving the extra boost for the criminals, and the criminals are using the firearms, country-made bombs and sharp-edged weapons on this army personnel. Okay, so we have seen that there has been the increase as many as 204 BSF personnel they have injured into this border area. This is given here. So there has been given a case where from that India adopted the non-lethal weapon policy. So you should remember this non-lethal weapon policy that is we are adopting from the 2011. Why? Because in the 2011 there was the a death of a 15-year-old girl who was crossing this border, and that image became so much in the public domain viral that particularly in the Bangladesh it was criticized, and after that we adopted this non-lethal weapon policy. Okay, so here the army personnel, they use the non-lethal weapons, okay, such as the stun grenades, chili grenades, pump action gun and blank fire. Blank fire without there is no bullet, and even they fire into the separated from the target, not targeting the targets, but yes, it is the bit distance just to scare them. Okay, so this you should know. Whenever there is the question that is with respect to the India-Bangladesh relation, you can use that. Okay. There is also the joint Indo-Bangladesh guideline that we both the army personnel who follow this. Okay, so it is duty of the border guarding force on the both sides to prevent the entry armed civilian up to 150 yards in either side of the border. Okay, so let me show you that famous picture. So this was the picture, this was the killing, this was the picture of the women that became the viral. This body after the death of this woman was hanging for the many hours. So it's become so much, it was criticized so much into the Bangladesh. After that we have adopted non-lethal policy. Next important news that we will cover is this government scheme PM Surya Ghar. This is the Muft Bijli Yojana. Okay, PM free electricity scheme. Under that we are going to provide 300 units of the electricity free. So what is that? Under that we will install the solar rooftop at the household, and after that there will be the production of the solar energy, and this installment cost will be divided between the government. Central government will give 60% of the cost, and yes, there is the limit that it is up to the 2 kilowatt of the system. If it is more than 2 kilowatt, more than 2 to 3 kilowatt, it will be the 40%, that will be the the assistance will be 40%, and more than 3 kilowatt the government will not provide any assistance. Okay, here it has provided that at present for the installation for system up to 3 kilowatt. More than 3 kilowatt we are not going to provide. Okay, and here the government is providing the this household with the collateral free low cost low interest rate loan. Okay, so you should understand how this project is going to be implemented. Next important news is with respect to the study that we have with respect to the leopard population that has increased to the 13,800. So you should understand that yes, who is the state who have the largest population of the leopard? This is the Madhya Pradesh, and after the Madhya Pradesh it is the Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So there the here the data is given. For the Madhya Pradesh it is around 4,000 leopard, for the Maharashtra near about 2,000, Karnataka 1,800 and Tamil Nadu 1,070. Uttarakhand reported a 22% decline in the big cat numbers, reportedly due to the poaching and man-animal conflict. So please remember this man-animal conflict, and this is due to that the people are killing these leopards, and that has become, for example, we saw this man-animal conflict in the Kerala as well. Okay, so the most important thing you should remember is that the thing with the tigers is that they mostly inside the large area for the tigers, they are inside the conservation area, but this with the leopard they are mostly outside the conservation area like the national park or the sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuary. For example, these leopard are even able to adapt to the normal condition. They can live in the village. They are even many of these leopard found into the city area. So this is the thing. This is the thing, and that's why there is the more man and animal conflict with this leopard. Okay. So they are adaptable to tend to found in the significant number in the village and sometimes even in the cities. This is the issue. You should also remember that the number of this leopard has been decreasing into the Shivalik Hill and Gangetic Plain. Okay, so there has been the decline, but in the Eastern Ghat, Central India, the number of this leopard is increasing. This is good, but in the Uttarakhand this is decreasing. One more thing you should remember with the UPSC, this Uttar Pradesh has both the leopard and tiger number that is increasing. This is here for the UPSC. Okay, so about 65% of the leopard population is present outside the protected area that I was talking. They are not inside the protected area, the conservation area. So you should remember the most important thing, you should remember this, the largest number that is found into the Madhya Pradesh. Again, you should recently we studied that the largest number of the population, population of tribal people, they are living into the Madhya Pradesh. There has been the accident into the Madhya Pradesh. This is the Dindori district of the Madhya Pradesh. So let's see that where is the Dindori. This is located into the near about this. Yes, this is Dindori, and this is located into the two important area. This Achanak Mar Wildlife Sanctuary, and there is the Jabalpur. So Jabalpur, this is famous for the waterfall, and here this is the biosphere reserve. So please remember this Achanak Mar and Amarkantak. This is the biosphere, and here this is the Jabalpur. So Jabalpur is very famous. Let's see. Jabalpur is famous for many things. For example, it had the balancing rock. Okay. So remember this. This is famous for the Chausat Yogini temple. This is the Chausat Yogini temple. And this waterfall, this is very famous. The name of this waterfall is the Dhudhandhar waterfall. So this is very beautiful waterfall, and beside that there is the marble rocks around this city. So this is important. And one more thing you should remember, this Madan Mahal Fort. Okay, so this is all about, you should know about the Jabalpur. Next important news, that is with respect to the obesity in the population, and this is increasing across the world. Okay, so what is the main thing? That obesity rate among the adults have more than the doubled. Okay, and overall in the children and adolescent. What is the children? Means 0 to 14 and adolescent 14 to 18. So worldwide it has increased 4 times. Means the weight and the height ratio is not good. What is the, this is the BMI. This is studied by the BMI. What is this? BMI is the body mass index. What is the body mass index? Means it is calculated when you have, means body weight is divided by your length. Okay. So if you have, means if you are 70 kilo or 75 kg of the weight, and it is the length is square. Means for example, if my length is 1.75 centimeter, and if I 175 centimeter means 1.75 meter. So if you will divide by the square, so whatever it's give, that will be the BMI. This gives the BMI, body mass index. So please remember, body weight and length is square. This is, so there has been the categorization that what comes under the underweight, what comes under the, let's show you. Okay, so this shows that different category. So this is the underweight normal. If the after the division it comes between 18.5 to 24.9. This is point, not the comma. This is 20 to 29.9. So it will become the overweight. After the division, if the numbers come, for example, when I calculated the numbers comes 24, so 24 comes under the normal. When it's become 25, so you become overweight. So you can calculate, all of you please calculate your BMI. So it will be easy. Next important news that we will see is this with respect to the rare disease. So what is the rare disease? The heading is the despite the policy backing and funding care for the rare disease not optimal. Okay, so first of all you should know that what is the rare disease. There is the variation in the definition of the rare disease. The Indian government, particularly the Organization of Rare Disease, defined that those diseases that are found in less than one or even less than one people, one or less than one people out of 500 people. So this will be considered as the rare disease. So there is no clear-cut definition. If the disease is very less, means 5,000 people, if that disease is one person or less than one person, then it will be for not less than 1%. It means that out of 6,000, 10,000, there is one people or less than one people. Okay, so this is the defined as the rare disease. Even the definition for the World Health Organization is that it should be the less than one person into the 1,000 population. Okay, so this is that. So near about there are the 7,000 rare disease, 7 to 8,000 rare disease, and only 5% have the therapies, okay, to treat them. Okay, and the rare disease affect nearly 1/5 of the India's population. Okay, so we have the policy, government came up with the policy on the rare disease, and it comes into the 2021 national policy on the rare disease. And yes, it provide a comprehensive national approach for the prevention and management of the rare disease. It's talk about there should be the Nidan Kendra, okay, and this will provide the data, and yes, data with respect to the epidemiological data. Okay, and policy also envisages the creation of national hospital based registry for the rare disease. Okay, here it has been in the 2002 the government provided that each patient will be allocated with the 50 lakh rupees, because this need a lot of expenditure, and even this 50,000, and that is not sufficient. For example, there was the study and the report that data we collected from the 10 children, they were suffering from the rare disease, and it was found that they exhaust all 50 lakh and they need more than that money, and they were moving from the here to there to source of these people, this money, so that they can be they can. The most important thing is that the allocation and yes, the utilization of this budget from the government is very inefficient. For example, there was a question from the Shashi Tharoor, the member of parliament in the Lok Sabha. He asked that what is the allocation and what is the expenditure. It was found that the allocation was 109 crore and the expenditure was only 53 crore. So it was only 51.3% of the total fund that was utilized. So the thing is that people, they have the need, but here the underutilization, low utilization of the fund, this is the concern. Now we have near about 12 center of the excellence and their utilization is varying between 80 to 90%. Okay, so what is the needed? The most important need is that this every rare disease patient deserves timely access to the life-saving treatment, and there is need for this. We need to improve the access to the care, and we need to bring the state government funding as well. Okay, so beside that, there is need for a hospital-based national registry for this rare disease. Okay, and it was initiated under the Indian Council for the Medical Research, but this data has not been updated. So this need to be updated. Beside that, this children, wherever in which, whoever, wherever this rare disease exists, the most setback is for the mother. Mother have to involve whole day to the care of these children, and that's why we need some care, some hostel or some facility where these children can be brought up for the few days so that the mothers can get some time. Okay, so this is all about. Next important news is with respect to this e-evidence new criminal law, its implementation. So it is talking about the recently we saw that we have brought change, we have repealed the previous Indian Evidence Act, Indian Penal Code, okay, and our Code of Criminal Procedure and Indian Evidence Act. All we have replaced with the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, and yes, by the Bharatiya Sakshya Samhita. Okay, this evidence is known as the Sakshya. So all we have changed with this, and with the change we have brought some new changes. The most important change you should know that now under new this Bharatiya Sakshya Samhita, we are going to very clearly define and accept this evidence and documentation from the digital devices. So here it has been very clearly said that scope of the secondary evidence has been slightly broadened, and yes, the change have been made in the provision relating to the electronics evidence into the BSS. So this is all about. Now they have defined that they have defined that they are going to accept this semiconductor memory in a very clear cut manner. Previously it was a bit vague. Yes, it was into the Information Technology Act of 2000 that they are going to accept this computer memory, but now it has given that semiconductor memory and any communication device or the better visibility. So this is all about. You should know all this has been mentioned here. Further into the cases has been given there where the Supreme Court has accepted this evidences and asked government for the please bring all this thing under the Indian Evidence Act as well. Okay. So this is all about. Next important news is with respect to the whatever going on with respect to the Rajya Sabha election. So here it has given that yes, Rajya Sabha election have allowed dissident to find their voice. Why this is so? Because as per the Supreme Court judgment, there is one more article that is in the detail. Here it has given now what is the condition of the number of the Rajya Sabha members, how the BJP has approached towards its majority. Now it has 79 numbers, and with its allies it is 117, and for the majority it's need 121. So it is just 4 members away from the reaching its majority. So there has been the consistent increase in the number of the Rajya Sabha members for the BJP. It was 78 in 2019, now it is 97. Here there is a elaborate manner it has discussed that what are the different cases and why the yesterday when it was happened into the Rajya Sabha elections of the different state, particularly the UP where there was the cross voting, and in Himachal Pradesh there was the cross voting, there was the cross voting in the Karnataka as well. So why it was not accepted? Because in the Supreme Court the case was the Kuldeep Nayar versus Union of India case clearly says that cross voting that will be not considered under the anti-defection, and that's why there has been the, because this same case allowed for the open ballot, means you have to show, it's what considered that when the MLA is going to show its a ballot paper to whom they are going to vote, so they will not cross vote. But in the yesterday election, in the election of this this election of the Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh and the Karnataka, clearly the person who voted, cross voted and showed to their officer, particularly it is the whip or the agent of the party, that yes, they have cross voted. So now the question has come to the Supreme Court that whether we should accept this cross voting as the anti-defection or not. So as per the recent judgment we saw into the Chandigarh mayor election, where the Supreme Court say that we are here to save the democracy. So this is also against the democracy. When a person who is elected for the some party and the person is voting for the some other party, it is crossing the democracy, desire of the people, the mandate of the people. So here in the this article it has mentioned that yes, this will come again, and this will again this case will come because already the Congress has said that Congress had disqualified its 6 member, those who cross-voted, because it was not in the Rajya Sabha, but in the next day there was the budget session and the budget was about to pass, and yes, there was the whip for to the all these 6 members, please come and vote, but they were absent, and that's why it was requested to the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly of the Himachal Pradesh, please disqualify them, and yes, they were disqualified. So certainly this will go to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court certainly will take this case, and this will under the Kuldeep Nayar versus Union of India case, as well as Ravi S. Nayak versus the Sanjay Bandekar versus the Union of India case. Okay, so this was the 2 cases that will be taken into the consideration whenever the Supreme Court is going to review this decision of the cross voting into this. Okay, so how this, you should know that Article 80 of the Indian Constitution that provide that it will be the member of Rajya Sabha, they will be elected by the indirect election. Okay, and the open ballot system was started, and it was accepted by the Kuldeep Nayar versus Union of India case. It was started into the after the 1998, and there was the amendment into the 2000 for the open ballot. Actually, it was a secret ballot. There was no need to show the ballot that whom you have voted. By the 1998, the situation was simple, that whoever have the numbers in their state assembly in the proportionate, they were getting the seat into the Rajya Sabha, just as the proportional representation. But 1998, there was the first time the cross voting that was against the Congress party. Okay, so the Congress party MLAs voted against its own member candidate, and after that in 2000 it was started, and there was the change in the Representation of People Act. Okay, and by that they brought the open ballot system. Okay, so after that it was the section 59 of the this Representation of People Act. So after that there is the, so you should remember that it is the open ballot system. Normally it is the secret system, but the Supreme Court says that this secrecy is become a bit a threat to the democracy. So to bring the transparency, we need to bring the open ballot. Okay, so this was all about, you should know with respect to this Rajya Sabha election, how it happens. This happens with the proportional system. If the number of the MLAs are as per the proportion of the seats, same seats will be given to the those parties. Okay, number of the seats will be given to the parties, and yes, The chances of the cross voting is due to that this system of the voting under the Rajya Sabha is not considered under the anti-defection law, because election commission consider that this is not process of the house. This is the outside the process of the house. Okay. Next important news is with respect to the NATO membership of the Ukraine. So it has been a bit difficult, because we are seeing that there is the opposition from the many members, and there is the apprehension that yes, the Russia become more aggressive. And it was started into the 2008 for this membership of the NATO for the Georgia and Ukraine, where the the Russia always claim for this territorial area, and even it was against the expansion of NATO into its backyard. Okay, so now we saw that there was the attack into the 2014 by the Moscow. They attacked the Crimea, and it was now the part of the it is now the part of the Russia. We should know that Article 5 of the NATO, it's talk about the collective defense, that an attack on the one member would be considered as the member on the all the nation. Okay, you should be knowing that this Ukraine had the nuclear weapon and when it was the part of USSR, but when it comes out of the USSR, Russia and Western countries like the US and UK, they all into the combination to reduce to the this expansion of the nuclear weapons. They convince Ukraine that please destroy, give up your nuclear weapon, and we will protect you. We will provide you the protection. So this US and UK had the obligation to protect the Ukraine, and but this Ukraine now it is facing that it is not able to get the money from the US, because US Congress has blocked the act that was providing the aid for the Ukraine. Okay, it was the, so you should know this. Next important news is with respect to the understanding the word of informal waste pickers. So you should know what are these, because today it is the International Waste Pickers Day. March 1 is that. Okay, so it is celebrated under the this commemoration of the murder of this waste fellow pickers into the 1992. Okay, so it was, what is the number percentage of this? If you will go through the overall urban population, they constitute near about 0.5 to 2% of the total urban population. Okay, and in India, if you will go with the periodic labor force survey, it indicates that there are nearly 15 lakh waste pickers within the Indian urban workforce. Okay, and they pick near about 60 to 90 kg of the waste on a daily basis, and they work for the 8 to 10 hours. Okay, so here you should know. But the thing is that they are facing the different issues, such as their poor health, their irregular work, low income, beside that regular harassment, and yes, it is compounded by the disease such as the skin disease that is known as the dermatological and respiratory health. They are the very frequent into these rag pickers. Okay. Beside that, recently we saw that the private actors employ the extensive machinery and offering competitive rates to the waste generator, and that's why they are their income. They are impacting the income of these informal rack pickers. Okay. So due to this, these rack pickers, they are forced to go for scavenging from the dump site. Okay. One more thing, this extended producer responsibility that was brought by the government, and this put the whole responsibility of this waste on the producers. Okay, so here it transferred the responsibility of waste management from the municipal authority and hold commercial waste producer accountable. Okay. Beside that, you should know that it is nuclear. It is the unclear on the whether these stakeholders include the informal waste pickers, this extended producer responsibility. Okay. Besides that, the solid waste management rule 2016 mandate the inclusion of this waste picker into the municipal solid waste. Okay. So this is also one of the thing that they are evidently missing the prioritization. 60% of the all plastic which is then recycled, they were picked up by those waste pickers. So you should remember, and this is given by the 22 World Economic Forum report and United Nations Development Program and Pew reports. They talk about that near about 27 million tons of this plastic waste, they are the collected by these waste pickers. So please remember all these things. You can use all these whenever the question comes that health concern and other livelihood concern of these waste pickers. Okay, in the last you can give the suggestion that a country that is already among the 12 countries responsible for the 52% of the mismanagement of the waste. Here we need to bring the waste pickers because we can use the traditional knowledge they purchase for the handling this waste, and yes, we can integrate this million of informal waste picker into the new legal framework. So this will be win-win situation for the, it will help in the better waste management as well as it will resolve this livelihood issue of these waste pickers. Please solve few of the questions that we have taken from these topics that we have covered. The first question, consider following: value of output, value of intermediate inputs, product tax, product subsidy. How many of the above is are needed to calculate both GDP and GVA? Only one, only two, only three, all the four. Please answer. Next question. If the government significantly increase the subsidies on the food grains, which of the following is likely to happen? GDP will increase, GVA will remain unchanged. GDP will decrease, GVA will remain unchanged. Both GDP and GVA will increase. Both GDP and GVA will decrease. Please answer. Question number 3. Election Commission is legally obliged to conduct by polls within 6 months of the seats becoming vacant. Statement 2, Section 151A of Representation of People Act 1951 states that when a seat falls vacant in the Legislative Assembly, the Election Commission of India must hold a by-election to fill that vacancy within a period of 6 months from the date it arises. Which one of the following is correct in respect to the above statement? Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Next question. The MH-60R helicopter recently seen in the news is equipped with A. Advanced sensor system for the detecting submarine, radar for the air-to-air and air-to-surface targeting, C. Countermeasure like the chaff and flares for the self-defense, D. All the above. Please answer. What does acronym radar stand for? Radio detection and ranging, range and detection with the radio. C. Radio location and distance analyzing radio waves. D. Radio assisted detection and response. Please answer. Question number 6. Consider following statement with regard to radar. Statement 1. Radar uses X-ray to detect objects and determines their internal structure and composition. Statement 2. Radar uses radio wave to detect objects and determine their distance and speed. Which one of the following is correct with respect to the statement, above statements? Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not correct explanation for the statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So please answer. We have taken most of the relevant news that are relevant for the UPSC and state pieces. Here we will conclude this session, and thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.